Hey everyone, welcome back to another session of Worship Guitar Riffs, and in this specific video I want to look at a couple of different ideas building on what some of my other videos have shown. And if you're wondering the reason behind it, it's important probably just to watch the very first video just to give you a context of why I approach guitar in the way that I do. And again, this is a lot of different ideas that is there for you to take away and find your own way of using these and your own putting them in loads of different keys, trying them at different tempos. They're just purely a lot of ideas to get you started in some ways. Any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments, or if there's any specific things you'd like broken down more, feel free to drop those and I'll do my best to have a go at showing those. So when I'm looking at any chord progression, the first thing I'm going to look at are the different chord shapes that I can use, and then secondly to that I'll be looking at the different melodies or notes that I can use to create nice simple melodies within that. The one I'm looking at today is going to be the chords of E minor to C to G. So the way I'll always straight away break down and look at the what I class as it's called the 10th chord. So it will just be the root and then the 10th note above it, which is the third an octave higher. So we'll be looking at the chord of E minor. So I'm going to straight away look at the different ways I can play this. So to start with, I'm going to play the low E up to the high G. So there's a 10th chord. I'll also put that starting on the A string up to the high B string. So we've got E and G. Then the next one I'll look at is doing the same thing based on the E to G here. Then I'm also going to look at doing the same thing again, higher again up here. So looking at the 10th chord, I'll be looking at 1. So there's different ways of playing that one chord. Then I'm going to break down and do the same thing with the C chord. So C chord is going to be based on this shape, and I'm going to play the root note and the 10th above it. If I'm going to play it based on this shape, it's the root note and again the 10th above it. C, E, C, E. Same, and then I'm going to do the same with the G chord. G to B. So then I'll look at how I can play the chord progression using all of those different 10th shapes. And there's the only way you need to work through it slowly to make sure you're comfortable and you can move around the whole fretboard, because this is going to be the basis of the very next step. So I'm going to just start going E minor, C, G, jump up, different progression shape, different shape, so being able to move around the whole fretboard just using those simple 10th shapes, and then you need to work through this over lots of different keys. So there's two ways you can do it. Think about, do you want the chord progression to be going up as it moves? Thinking about the top note, so that's your melody. So for this I'm going to be going E to G. Now I'm going to jump down to, then jump up. So I've got my melody is going, but I could change that and I could make it all go down. Or it could keep progressing up as it goes. that's the 10th chord, and I use that, and I'll start every progression making sure I've got I understand how that works for that song. So now that we've got those changes, I'm going to put the track on and we're going to hear the E minor to C to G chords, and I'm just going to play the tenths along with it. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, E minor, C, G. So that just gives a few different options of how you can use the 10th chord based on that progression.